Have you ever wondered what can change the world? That's what we're going to talk about today. A way to change the world for the good. Let's go. Hey everyone, I'm Josh Golightly and welcome to Welcome Life, where I'm here to teach you how to welcome a life different from the world. If you haven't already, consider hitting the subscribe button where you can see a video like this every Friday. Today I want to talk to you about what can change the world. So more specifically, I want to talk to you about how grace can change the world. We've all been on social media, we've all been everywhere, and where all we see today is hate. We see it on the news, we see it on social media, we see it really everywhere. Hate is put in front of us. We're racially divided. We're politically divided. You probably even have a bias against the video you're watching right now. Somewhere down the line, we found a way to hate and never show any grace. People have hurt us one time and we automatically lump the rest of the world with those people. We can't seem to get away from it. We can't seem to run away from all the hate that's in the world. Why is that? Why is there so much hate in the world? That's because there's not enough grace. We don't have any grace for people anymore. No one shows the love that they used to show for people. No one shows the care that they used to show for people. Actually, I say used to. The world's always been an evil place. Even from the time of Noah, God flooded the world. Why? Because it was evil. Literally, God says every thought of man was evil. And then he found Noah. And he said he was a righteous man. And so he put him on the ark and he raised the flood waters and killed everyone else. When Noah came out, he went and multiplied on the earth. And then hate started to happen again. Hate has always been around us. Hate has always been around you. And hate's always been around me. So how can you change the world? It's through grace. I want to tell you a story that's truly about grace. Joseph's story. It takes place from Genesis 35 all the way to Genesis 47. In this story, Joseph's brothers got so mad at him that they literally threw him into a pit to try to kill him. And when they threw him into the pit, one of his brothers said, "No, don't kill him. Instead, we can sell him into slavery and get some money out of him." So that's what they did. Then they tore his clothes, put blood all over it, and then took him back to his father and said, "Your son was killed by a bear." Joseph got sold into slavery to Potiphar. And at Potiphar's house, God blessed Potiphar and God blessed Joseph. But while he was there, Potiphar's wife accused Joseph of sleeping with her. So he had to run away. When he ran away, he ended up in jail. And while he was in jail, he met a cupbearer of the king and a baker. Both of these were former people who worked with the king. And they both had a dream. The cupbearer had a dream that he was once again the cupbearer for the king. And then the baker had a dream that he was the baker, but then he got killed. Joseph interpreted both of these dreams and said both of these dreams are going to happen. And that's what happened. The cupbearer becomes the cupbearer for the king again, and the baker gets killed. Sometime later, Pharaoh has a dream. In this dream, Pharaoh says, "I see a lean cow and a fat cow, and the lean cow eats the fat cow. And then I see a big corn stalk and a little corn stalk, and the little corn stalk eats the big corn stalk." Pharaoh invites all the wise men to come, and none of them can interpret this dream. So the cupbearer tells Pharaoh about Joseph. Joseph comes and interprets the dream. And he says, God told you these things twice because they're going to happen. You will have 7 years of plentiful harvest, and you will have 7 years of famine. I say that you should put someone in charge where we can stock up while the 7 years of harvest. That way we have during the 7 years of famine. And Pharaoh said, "I have found no one more wise than you." And so he literally puts Joseph second in command over all of Egypt, right under Pharaoh. Joseph has the right to hate so many people in the story, but he doesn't. Instead, he shows grace to everyone involved. The famine gets so bad that Joseph's brothers, who literally sold him into slavery because they hated him so much, and then went and lied to their dad and said that he got killed, comes to Joseph, not even knowing that it's their brother, and starts begging for food. If that was you, what would you have done? If you're like me, you probably would have done anything. You probably would have said, "I'm your brother, the one you tried killing, the one you tried putting into slavery. You get out of here. I'm not giving you any food." This story right here was grace that changed the world. Because if it wasn't for Joseph showing that grace, we would never even get Jesus. Because Jacob's family would have been completely killed because of the famine. Instead, Joseph shows his brother and says, what you chose for bad, God used for good. And I want to show you grace because I may have gotten put in here because of what you did to me, but I'm going to show you grace because it turned out for the best. Hey, if you're liking this content and you want to show the best, will you hit that like button for me? What are some areas in your life that people have done you wrong that you never think for 1 second that you can show grace to that person? I can tell you my story. My story is I grew up in a home that wasn't Christian. I grew up in a home that kind of believed in Jesus. I grew up in a home that had a lot of arguing. I showed a lot of bitterness, a lot of anger towards those people. I resented them so much. But then when God showed me the grace that I now have through Jesus, I showed that grace to everyone else around me. I showed that grace to the people that I could have hated my entire life. And that has changed relationships. I now show those people love. I now have a strong relationship and I can communicate with those people. The people that cause so much pain, that cause so much grief in my life, I can now show love and grace to them. What is an area in your life that you can show love and grace to people that have hurt you? Maybe they bullied you. Maybe they gossip about you. Maybe they slandered your name. Maybe they have a different opinion. Maybe they're a different race. What in your area that you show hate, that you should show more grace? What is that area? Let me know in the comments below. We all have an area in our life that we should show grace over hate. Let's change the world. Let's show the world that grace can win over hate. Let's show the world that love can win over hate. Isn't that what we're all striving for right now? Is how we can change the world for the better? We want to save the animals. We want to save the rainforest. We want to save the climate. Which all those things are great. I want to save those things. But what about ourselves? We can save the world, but we're not even saving humankind from the hate that's happening all around us. There's still wars going on because of our hate. There's still wars going on because of hate that's inside of us. How can you change the world? Through grace. How can you change this world and make it a new life and give yourself a new life? Is through grace. That's how you're going to change the world. That's how you're going to take the hate that's inside of you and change it to grace. That's what Jesus did for you. He came onto this world to take the hate that was in this world and show it grace. The Pharisees, that's all they ever did. They showed hate to people. And yet Jesus came and showed love, and grace. Think of the woman that was caught in adultery, that the Pharisees just took her and threw her down. The law says to stone her. What do you say, Jesus? And what did Jesus say? The person who was without sin would cast the first stone. How many stones have you thrown? Are you without sin? Are you without any mistake? That's how we can change the world. Show grace and less hate. Let's start a new life and live a life different from the world. Let's welcome that life onto this world. Hey, if you liked what you got, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. That way you can see these new videos every Friday. If you liked today's episode, if you did, hit the subscribe button there and hit another episode about watching hate speech there and whatever the YouTube algorithm picks there. Catch you next week on Welcome Life.